Hello children, welcome back to the session. So today it is going to be a passage reading where the unit of inquiry and literacy is integrated together. So in the last session of unit of inquiry, we discussed about the types of marine organisms. Like we discussed about the three types such as plankton, nectins and benthos. So today I have taken a passage that belongs to one kind of marine organisms, and it is nothing but benthos. So as you read the passage you will understand that. And one more thing is that how it is related to literacy is nothing but we are learning the report writing. So this is one of the example, the greatest example of how to generate a report or how to frame a report. Okay, so this is about starfish. So why it is called as benthos you will understand once we read the features of it. Okay, so there are over 2000 species of starfish found in all the seas. So wherever whenever you visit an ocean or sea, you can find 2000 different species of starfish, and most of these are found in shallow water. So shallow water is nothing but the water bodies that are not too deep, they are just shallow. Okay, and you can also find them in deep water bodies such as ocean or seas. So it is not compulsory for it to live only in oceans or seas. It can also live in other water bodies where it is not deep also. So we cannot say it can only live in deep ocean or seas. They appear to be most numerous in the northern part of the North Pacific. So where can you find the most of these species? Is nothing but the North Pacific, that too in the northern part of the North Pacific. So the typical body is made up of 5 arms that radiate from a small central body with a toothless mouth on the underside. So as you can look at the picture, it doesn't have any other body parts. It has got 5 arms, and it's generated from the center part of the body, and its mouth is underneath that. So you cannot see its mouth on the top. When you look from from the top side, you can find it only at the bottom side of its body. And one more thing is that it's not necessary that a starfish should only have 5 arms or tentacles. It can have as many as it, based on the species, because there are 2000 species, so it may differ. Okay, so the general description that that comes in everybody's mind is that it has got 5 arms that is generated from its central part of the body. The number of arms may vary greatly, as I said you, and as well as the size from species to species. So it depends upon the type of starfish it is. So some of the fish, they may be very tiny, some may be very huge. So it depends upon the species. The colors of the starfish range from yellow, orange, pink and red, with a few that are grey, blue, green or purple. So it is colorful, right? We can find it in most of the colors. And plates covered with a thin layer of skin support the body wall of the starfish. So its body is covered with small plates, plate kind of things, and it supports its body, right? And spines also project from the surface singly or in a group. So its spine is visible. It is projected from the body, that is, it's shown out. Okay, so its spines are shown out in the surface, either in the form of a group or as a single spine. And muscles at their base move each spine. So how they move is they have got the muscles at the base, that is at the bottom, and that helps the movement. Okay, and the next thing is that the surface may have little pencil like jaws mounted on a short stalk on 3 spines that are positioned close together. So it appears as if their the spines are close together. It appears to be in that form. They are important in preventing the surface of the starfish from becoming encrusted with algae or other small organisms. So algae is shown in here in this picture. You can see the green color surface that is that covers the water, and actually they are living things. They are not non-living things. These are called as algae. You can see in most of the water bodies, such as certain lakes has got these kind of algae, or pond. Definitely a pond will have the algae. Okay, so these are the green living organisms, and these when a starfish lives in such kind of area, water body which is covered with algae, there is a tendency that its body will get covered with those green color, right, which is a disturbance to it. So its body is designed in such a way that it gets prevented from covering the algae, right? So an algae cannot cover the body of the starfish most often because of the the way it is designed. And the starfish move by numerous tube feet arranged in rows along the underside of each arm. So as we said that it has got 5 arms, maybe it has got a lot of arms, like numerous arms. Those arms have got small structure, tube like structures, and that helps the starfish to move in the water. So like other fish, it doesn't have any fins, right, to swim in the water, but to move, they don't swim, they just move, right? So their arms has got small tubes which help them to move through the ocean. So these arms propel the starfish along in the water. Propel in the sense it helps them move, pushing, okay? These tubes push the body of the starfish so that it moves from one place to another. So the movement mechanism is entirely different from that of a fish. And one more thing is that the tips of the feet has got the suction tubes, like suction in the sense it helps them to get attached in the place. Since they are they fall under the categories of benthos, definitely they have to stick themselves somewhere, right, to protect them from this water current or the heavy flow of water or ocean current. So what happens is they have got the suction discs at their feet or arm, which helps them to get stuck in one place, so which help them secure themselves under the water. And one more thing, a starfish has very good regenerative powers. This is the most interesting fact that I find in starfish. So whenever they get attacked or by somehow if they lose one of their arms, they have got the power to regrow that organism, that is regrow that particular arm, okay? So they don't have to worry about once if one of their arm gets cut or some other fish attacks it, or either if a starfish itself attacks the other fish, they don't have to bother about it, because it regenerates, regrows, and it has that kind of power and can easily grow back on an arm or two if it has lost them. Starfish, as they are carnivorous and feed on fish and crustaceans, worms and mollusks. So one species feeds on coral polyps. So each kind of species depends, it depends upon the type of species it is. Some are carnivorous, so mostly they are carnivorous and they depend upon the other fish, or they eat the worm, whatever they get. So because they are carnivorous, they can eat whatever they want. And certain, just now I read that starfish can also eat the other species of starfish. It depends upon it. So the female starfish releases millions of eggs into the sea, okay? And when it releases the egg, when the egg gets hatched, as soon as it gets hatched, a starfish doesn't come out, you can find larva, okay? Larva is a small thing that is before the starfish, and this larva is nothing but, you would have read in the butterfly life cycle in grade 1, right? It has got a larva. The same way, a larva hatches from the egg, and this larva in about 2 months become a young starfish, that is a small one, which will break free, okay? So it's like tied to something, and after that it stays there for 2 months, and from that only it becomes a starfish. And this is just a very simplified version for one species. So as I told you, whatever feature is described here, all these features depends upon the type of species it is, type of starfish it is. So this is just a simplified version. So how it becomes an adult is, once it lays the eggs, there comes the, when it hatches, there comes the larva, and that larva after 2 months become a starfish. So this is like a cycle which gets repeated, and that is not the same for all kind of species. And there are other species of starfish that are different in their development. So that is what I told you, and these can be found on most beaches, and these fish are usually dead or dying. They are very popular to collect and are used in decoration. So there are some fish that is getting endangered, you can tell that, and people use these dead starfish for the purpose of decoration. So this was about the starfish. This is how you have to write a report when you are researching about any topic. It can be a biography, it can be about an animal, a fish, whatever it is. These are the format of how to generate a report or how to write a report. See, everything is defined very clearly, starting from where you can find it, the colors, the way its body works, everything is clear, right? So this is how a report is. And please connect it with the marine life also, since it is, you can find it under the ocean, that is beneath the ocean. That's why it is benthos, because nectarines are the ones that can be found anywhere, but these kind of species, they are are benthos because they are mostly they live under the surface of the ocean. And this is the reflection that you have to do, that is named as animal research. So you have to write the name of the animal. Of course, it is about starfish. You have to draw the picture of the starfish. Any species you can draw, you can research in the internet about it. And where does this animal live? That is given clearly in the first few lines. And how big this animal and what does it look like? So that is also mentioned clearly because it depends upon the species. And what does this animal like to eat? That is also there. And what is the interesting fact that you found out when you were reading the passage? And if you know something else that is not mentioned in this passage which is interesting, that as well you can include here. So I hope you have understood about one of the marine species very well, and I hope you will reflect that based on your understanding. Please don't copy anything from the passage, that is just for your understanding. You can write it on your own, whatever you know about starfish. Okay, so till I see you in the next class, bye, take care.